Ma'am, is it audible, ma'am,
Ah,
now?
now it's fine.
Hello?
Yeah, I can listen
Ma'am,
to
is
your
it
voice. Yeah, proceed.
cough with expectoration,
Yeah.
productive cough, insidious in onset, persistent in nature for
Yes.
copious in amount, about 100 ml per day,
Okay.
yellow in color, thick in consistency, mucopurulent in nature, foul
Yeah.
smelling, and not blood streaked.
Okay. Okay. Right. So, from your statement, so it is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
quantity is more, which we call it as bronchoria. Yesterday we discussed, no, bronchoria, where there is large amount of sputum production. Okay, and
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
foul smelling. Foul smelling. That means it is definitely a chronic, long-standing suppurative lung disease. Okay, and she is
Yes, ma'am.
having cough for the past 3 years. Is it? Every day she
Yes, ma'am.
coughs. Is it? Continuous cough.
Yes, ma'am.
Really? Okay. Okay. Proceed. Proceed.
The cough was aggravated during early morning and on lying down in left lateral position,
Okay, so from
suggestive
this,
of
are you
postural
getting any
variation.
clue? No, no. From this, are you getting any clue? See, the cough is aggravated during early morning, okay, and lying down on the left lateral position. Left lateral position. That means, are you getting any clue?
Yes, ma'am. It indicates that the
Ah,
uh, right side of lung is affected.
Ah, very good, very good. See, by gravity, when he lies down on left lateral position, so the diseased side, which is the right side, there is secretion which by gravity comes and irritates the normal mucosa, producing more cough, which is the cough is aggravated by lying down on the lateral position. Yes, proceed.
Um, uh, the cough is not associated with any chest pain, syncope, or wheeze.
All these we discussed no yesterday. So you proceed with the case. Next.
Uh, History of hemoptysis. The hemoptysis was 2 days in duration, 2 to 4 episodes per day.
Okay.
Frank blood of 100 to 150 ml during each episode was seen. Uh,
Okay.
the hemoptysis was not associated with sputum or food particles.
Fine. So the patient, if he is going to be an illiterate, right? So he will
Yes,
tell you hemoptysis, or he may not be very clear whether it is hematemesis or hemoptysis. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
So can you differentiate whether it is because of hemoptysis or hematemesis?
Ma'am, first
Yes. See,
comes
like hematemesis, even you can
in
have
hematemesis.
blood loss in hemoptysis also, you can have large volume of blood loss. Okay. So, how are you going to differentiate hemoptysis and
Okay.
hematemesis?
There'll be a feeling of nausea and vomiting before the patient coughs
See,
up
not in
the blood.
all cases, not in all cases, right? Okay. Anything else? Anything else? See,
Uh,
food particles
P
mixed
has
with
ma'am.
okay, there may be food particles, but sometimes if the bleed is in empty stomach, you can't expect food particles also. In hematemesis, I'm telling. Okay. So,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
there any other means by which you can differentiate the
Color, ma'am.
color also may be red or altered. See, coffee ground you can have in the initial episodes, right, in hematemesis because of the acid hematin formation. But once the bleed is progressive, obviously it will be frank red, like your
Yes, ma'am.
hemoptysis. So you may not be able to differentiate both. So what to do?
Uh, Ma'am, yeah, a previous history of gastrointestinal disorder, ma'am.
No need, no need. I'm telling this is first episode.
Frothy in nature, ma'am.
Which one?
The cough, hemoptysis will have froth with blood
Okay.
bubble. Whereas if it is a hematemesis, it will not be frothy.
See, I am giving you a litmus paper, right? Will it help you? Will it help you to differentiate? I am giving you the litmus paper. What is the
Yes,
usefulness of litmus paper?
it will show whether it's an acidic or basic.
So which is acidic and which is alkaline?
Ma'am, the hematemesis will have acidic nature
Yeah,
of blood.
yes, yes. And similarly, you see macrophages in hemoptysis, no, in the blood mixed with the cells. If you microscopically see, you can pick up macrophages, but not in hematemesis, right?
Okay,
Yes.
ma'am.
So, Sayed, now you tell us, just to brush up, the causes, the respiratory causes of hemoptysis.
Ma'am, first of all, TB.
Very good.
We'll suspect TB. Then it could be bronchiectasis,
Yes.
and then it could be bronchogenic carcinoma in older age people.
Yes.
Uh, there could be cardiovascular etiology for it, but as of now, for respiratory,
Ah.
vasculitic disorder like good pasture and
Yes.
Wegener's granulomatosis.
Yes. Very good. Good pasture,
Uh,
beginners, bronchial adenomas, and
oh,
AV malformation, respiratory malformation, AVMs. They are all rare, but you should know. Okay?
okay.
Right. Proceed.
Uh, there was history of significant loss of weight, 8 kgs in the past 6 months.
Okay. You tell
History
me
of yes, ma'am.
the causes of weight loss. What all you will think? The patient's main complaint is I'm losing weight. That too 8 kgs in the past 6 months. What all will run in your mind if the patient says I am losing my weight?
Ma'am, it may be due to protein loss, which is coughed in the blood.
Okay, in this particular patient, it can be because of bronchoria, copious production of sputum, there is loss of protein, obviously there is loss of weight. Okay, any other general cause? I am asking, it may involve any system, right? So, any
Yes.
patient comes and tells you that I am losing weight, doctor. So, what all will run in your mind?
Uh,
Common. Think of some metabolic condition first, which is very common in our
Thyroid,
setup.
ma'am, thyrotoxic.
Diabetes, not thyroid, diabetes first, okay? Diabetes mellitus, okay? See, they can have polyphagia. In spite of that, they lose weight, right? So, diabetes, you should not forget. As you said, hyperthyroidism.
Yes, ma'am.
Hyperthyroidism, then anything else? Weight loss. In old age, obviously, malignancy. And also malabsorptions. No, malabsorption can also lead, okay, can cause,
Tuberculosis,
Yes,
HIV.
ma'am.
yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
tuberculosis, HIV. These infections you should not forget. So tuberculosis, I told you yesterday, right? When there is cough more than 2 weeks, with or without hemoptysis, with fever, evening rise of temperature, with loss of weight, loss of appetite, night sweats, you think of TB in Aseta. So definitely you will think of all this whenever the patient comes with history of weight loss. Right, next.
Okay, ma'am. So, history of loss of appetite for past 3 years was in.
Okay, okay.
Um, can I proceed, ma'am?
Yeah, proceed, proceed.
Uh, History of breathlessness. The breathlessness
Yes.
was insidious in onset, gradually
Yeah.
progressive, progressed
Okay.
from grade 0 to grade 1 according to modified Medical Research Council grading over the
Okay.
past 3 months.
Yeah, can you tell us the modified MRC grading for the benefit of
Yes, ma'am.
others? Yeah.
Grade 0 is when there is breathlessness only due to strenuous exercise. Uh,
Okay.
Grade 1 is shortness of breath when hurrying on the level ground or climbing a small hill.
Small
Uh,
hill.
Grade 2 is when there's a shortness of breath
Yeah.
while walking amongst the contemporary age group on the
Yes.
level ground.
Level ground. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And
Next.
grade 3 is when there is shortness of breath when he's walking at his own pace.
Own pace. You should not forget this term. So he will walk on his own pace. He cannot walk with other speed. No. So always he
Yes.
lags behind. Yeah. Fine.
Grade 4 is at
So
rest.
yeah.
Uh,
Fine.
breathness.
So here this breathlessness or dyspnea worsened actually from grade 0 to grade 1 in the past 3 months only. No, before that she had no dyspnea. Really,
Yes,
there
ma'am.
was no dyspnea.
The patient was working and
Uh huh.
was able to cope up
Okay.
before 3 months
Okay.
on.
Okay. Fine. Yes.
Uh, no aggravated. The breathlessness was aggravated by cough and relieved
Okay.
at rest.
Okay.
There was no history of paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea and orthopnea.
Fine. Yes.
No diurnal variation was seen.
What do you mean by diurnal variation of breathlessness?
Uh, Ma'am, breathlessness at night, there are various causes, ma'am, and at uh, morning, early morning, there are few conditions like cardiac conditions.
What I feel, Sayed, better avoid this term, diurnal
Okay,
variation.
okay,
Actually,
ma'am.
where you use this term exactly, in which neurological condition you use this diurnal variation? I think you
Neuro,
all would have discussed CNS cases. Yes, diurnal variation. See, the patient when he gets up in the morning, he is normal like any other person. In the evening, he develops neurological problems in the form of ptosis, diplopia, change of voice, dyspnea, dysphagia, all these he can develop. So tell me the disease.
uh,
Name of the disease, neurological problem.
Myasthenia, ma'am.
Very good. Who's that?
Ma'am,
Tyage?
Dhyaneshwaran.
Dhyaneshwar. Dhyaneshwar. Yes, it is myasthenia. See, myasthenia gravis, which is an autoimmune disease, which affects the where? Motor end plates, the myoneural junction. So there are receptors. These complicated receptors, they are simplified because of autoimmune injury to the receptors. So here the patient is normal in the morning. In the evening only he starts developing the symptoms. So always you suspect, we see so many cases here. It can even start unilaterally, ptosis, bilateral partial ptosis, not complete ptosis, partial ptosis, bilateral with other symptoms. So you will definitely think of myasthenia gravis, right?
ma'am,
Proceed.
even myasthenia has dysphagia, ma'am.
Possible, yeah. Change of voice, dysphagia, and always, most of the time, thymoma. You should rule out thymoma in such patients.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay?
Sure. Yes, ma'am. Uh, no history of fever, evening rise of temperature, or night sweats
Yeah.
was seen. There was no history of pedal edema, abdominal distension, right hypochondriac pain, or facial puffiness.
1 minute, 1 minute. See,
Yes, ma'am.
this hypochondriac is wrong, okay? It is
Okay, ma'am.
hypochondrial pain. The region is known as hypochondrium, okay?
Okay.
And it is
Okay,
called
ma'am.
as hypochondrial pain, not chondriac pain, right? Correct yourself. Right.
Okay,
Proceed.
ma'am.
Now proceed.
Um, no history of oliguria, no history of palpitations, no history of syncope, no history of hoarseness of voice, and no history of dysphagia was present.
Okay, proceed.
Past history, the patient had a history of recurrent respiratory tract infection on and off for past 3 years with no previous hospitalization.
See, here you should concentrate more on the past history in this patient, though the complaints are for the past 3 years, right? See, here
Yes,
you
ma'am.
should ask the childhood history also. Childhood history of any viral exanthem like measles, mumps, rubella, all these you will definitely ask. And
Yes, ma'am.
childhood history of any tonsillectomy, Any other surgeries, oral surgeries? Why you should ask all this?
To rule out aspiration. Was
Yeah,
there any
surgeries to rule out aspiration, and these viral infection can predispose bronchiectasis, okay, which
Okay,
can
ma'am.
affect in later days. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so proceed now.
The patient is a known case of type 2 diabetes mellitus for past
Okay,
15 years with
okay,
intermittent loss of compliance to the drug for past 3 years.
okay,
Uh, no history of previous pulmonary TB infection.
okay,
No, not a known case of hypertension, bronchial asthma, epilepsy.
okay,
No history of any unknown allergies.
fine.
Uh, the patient had no history of aspiration, tooth extraction,
Yes,
tonsillectomy,
yes.
exanthematous fever, exposure to STDs, near drowning incident, surgery, or
Near drowning,
hospital.
very good. Near drowning, yes, very important past history. Near drowning, and no past history of any general anesthesia. And similarly, there is one rare entity called alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency, which can also start from childhood. No? Though it's rare, okay, that also you should think of. Next.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Family history. No history of similar complaints in the family. The patient is married for 15 years, non-consanguineous marriage. Husband is a chronic smoker, 15 pack years,
Yeah.
no children.
Oh,
There
this is
was
a
no history of
nullipara.
contact with
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Finish.
Uh, no history of asthma, hypertension, diabetes mellitus, allergies in the family.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. 1 minute. See, point
Yes.
number two. Why are you bothered about the smoker husband? Tell me.
Ma'am, if there is passive
Yeah.
smoking
Very good. Yeah,
present,
proceed.
then it
Mm.
could cause a respiratory infection in the
Yes.
wife, COPD,
Yes.
chronic
Yes.
bronchitis.
Very good. Very good. See, the same patient is a male. Okay. Okay,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
he is a smoker and has no children. What will you
Yes.
think? What respiratory problem?
Cartagenous it could be
Yes,
possible.
yes, Cartagenous
Primarily
syndrome,
epilepsy.
as well as Young syndrome.
Yeah.
Even in Young syndrome, see, all these are motility disorders, I told you. Okay, in
Yes, ma'am.
cartilaginous, what happens? There is a mucociliary apparatus, I told you, in the lower respiratory tract, which moves at a particular rate, as well as the cilia, the ciliated columnar epithelium, they beat at a particular rate. So you know why they do it, okay? In
Yes.
cartilaginous, the cilia are at fault. If you take the cut section, they have what is called as dynein arms. They are like cycle spokes, okay? Dynein arms, and the ATP is generated for energy for the beating of the cilia. So here, because the cilia are gone, the dynein arm is gone, so the cilia cannot function. Obviously, any foreign body which is stuck, no, it is there and it causes inflammation, destruction, there is secretion, there is superadded infection and destruction of the cartilage. As I told you, it's like a vicious cycle. Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
if he's a male, no, so this is called as azoospermia or immotile cilia syndrome. The sperm may not move. Okay, so he
Yes.
cannot become a father, right?
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
another thing, in your last sentence, again, you are telling no history of asthma, hypertension and diabetes. Just now you said she is a known diabetic, right? She is a
Yes, ma'am. But
diabetic.
other family members,
Family
ma'am.
history you want, family history. Nobody else is suffering, Nobody else is suffering
Yes,
from
ma'am.
diabetes. Fine. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
right. Proceed.
Uh, Ma'am, personal history. The patient consumes mixed diet, has normal bowel and bladder habit, normal sleep-wake cycle. There's no history of alcohol consumption or any history of substance abuse.
Fine. If the patient says, okay, Patient,
Yes, ma'am.
imagine the same lady, her weight is 90 kgs, okay, and she says,
Okay, ma'am.
doctor, I am sleeping most of the daytime, not in the night. What disease you will
Oh,
suspect?
obstructive sleep apnea, ma'am. Syndrome, ma'am.
Very good, very good. Obstructive sleep apnea syndrome. Actually, you know what happened in obese individuals, the submandibular and the neck area, the soft tissue can compress on the airways during night. So, which can cause apnea. Okay, they snore. Such individuals, they will snore. So sometimes you see you listen to snoring, all of a sudden it may stop. That is nothing but apnea. Snoring is because of the obstruction of the airway by your soft tissue. Okay, so they
Yes.
are prone for hypoxia. That you should remember. So there are two causes, central and peripheral. So our case, since it is obesity, it is a peripheral obstructive sleep apnea. They do many surgery. They do some pharyngeal surgeries. They may need even BiPAP. No, during sleep they may need oxygen support. Though
Yes, ma'am.
we advise them to reduce weight, all these can help actually. Okay,
Okay.
palatopharyngoplasty they do. They modify. Okay, so
UVO
these are surgeries that
palatopharyngoplasty, ma'am. Is this?
UVO, yeah, you're right. UVO palatopharyngoplasty they do. Okay, and also BiPAP
Uh,
will help. Okay, fine. Proceed.
um,
Next.
treatment history. The patient has been self-medicating herself for recurrent respiratory tract infection for past 3 years,
Uh-huh.
ma'am. Actually, I've written 5 years
No
by
issues.
mistake.
Okay.
With dextromethorphan, cough syrup, paracetamol for fever, ma'am.
Oh, very, very dangerous. Self-medication. She was abusing the drugs, I can say. See, cough syrup, actually, it has got some sedative property also, no? Dextromethorphan, as well as
Yes, ma'am.
paracetamol. Paracetamol, see, in its therapeutic dose, it's fine. Have you seen paracetamol poisoning? See,
Um,
in suicidal attempts, they take, the individual takes 15 tablets. What can happen in
uh,
paracetamol poisoning?
Metabolic acidosis, ma'am.
Yes, it can affect the liver.
Okay, ma'am.
So,
Yes.
what is the antidote for paracetamol poisoning?
N-acetylcysteine, ma'am.
NAC, yeah, you give NAC. Do you know the use of NAC in any other condition?
Ma'am, it's
N-acetylcysteine?
mucolytic also.
Very good.
Mucolytic.
Mucolytic. Then,
Um,
even in poisoning, we are using rat killer paste poisoning. Okay,
oh,
we
okay.
are using NAC. Okay, right.
Okay.
Proceed. Proceed.
Um,
See, as a doctor, you should talk with the patient and ask her to stop such things. Okay, you
oh,
have to tell her the side effects of each drug. See, each drug is a drug only in its therapeutic range. Whenever there is overdose, no, it becomes a poison or a toxin. Right, proceed.
um, immunization history. BCG and DPT vaccination was not done.
Why you are so particular about this part?
Ma'am, BCG to give an idea whether it could be TB or not, and DPT for pertussis, ma'am.
Okay, BCG when it is given normally.
In childhood, ma'am, I think immunization schedule wise at birth and during sixth
Yeah,
week,
see,
14th week.
within 3 days, they give zero dose polio as well as BCG. What is BCG?
Bacillus calmette-guerin.
Yeah,
Uh,
Bacillus calmette-guerin. What is the usefulness of BCG in our
ma'am,
Indian setup? How it's
it
going to
will,
help us?
ma'am, it will prevent tuberculous meningitis.
Very good, very good. So it is just to prevent the TB meningitis in future, TB infection. Okay. So you know how it is given?
Intradermal, ma'am.
Yeah. So it is given intradermally. See, soon after the injection, the baby will not develop any reaction. It may take 6 weeks, and it starts developing a papule. No, it raises. After a week, this will burst out. Okay, it forms an ulcer, a circular ulcer, and after 8 weeks, it will leave a depressed circular scar. So this scar confirms that BCG is fully effective. If there is no scar formation, the BCG either it is not potent, or the method or the route in which it was injected was wrong. They could have given intra or subcutaneous, it would have gone. It was not properly given as intradermal. Okay, so BCG universally is given where? Where will you search for BCG vaccine scar?
In the left upper arm, ma'am.
Always left upper arm you search for the scar. What is MAN2 then? What is MAN2? MAN2 test we do know.
Ma'am, it is
What is MAN2?
P, purified
Purified PPD,
PPD.
protein derivative. Purified
Yes,
protein derivative, even that is given intradermally. See that if it flares up more than 10 mm indicates MAN2 is positive. That means there is some TB infection. Okay, right, proceed.
Okay,
Proceed.
ma'am, occupation history. She was agricultural laborer by occupation, but currently not working since 3 months, ma'am.
Fine.
Her workplace is not situated near any chemical factories or cotton mills, ma'am.
Good history, yes.
Can I proceed?
Yeah, proceed.
Summary: Mrs. Raji, a 50-year-old female who is diabetic for the past 15 years, presented with complaints of cough with mucopurulent expectoration for past 3 years,
Yes.
hemoptysis of 100 to 150 ml of blood, 2 to 4 episodes a day for the past 2 days, grade 1 dyspnea for past 3 months, not associated with PND or orthopnea. There is significant loss of weight and loss of appetite.
Fine. Here you can little bit modify. Okay. See, you need not again give a detailed summary. Okay. See, this 50-year-old female, a known diabetic, okay, who gives history of productive cough with bronchoria, history of bronchoria, foul-smelling sputum with hemoptysis. You need not again say the volume, okay, episodes, all that. Okay,
ma'am.
And dyspnea worsening from grade 0 to 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Progressive dyspnea for the past 3 months. With that, I think with history of weight loss and loss of weight and loss of appetite. With that, you can finish. Okay.
Okay,
right.
ma'am.
So you are now sure it is respiratory system, right? Proceed.
Yes, ma'am. The probable system involved is respiratory system. And general examination. The patient was conscious, comfortable, well oriented.
Yes. Hello.
To time, place, and person.
Yes.
Moderately built.
Yeah. Now I can hear you. It was cut in between. Yeah. Yes.
The patient was conscious, comfortable, well oriented to time, place, and person. Moderately built and nourished. The patient had pallor.
Yeah.
And
so she looks pale. She looks pale. Probably there is ongoing bleed. Okay. And another thing, did you ask for her menstrual history, Pa? She is now 50 years. Some ladies can have a late menopause, like 51 or 52. So you are supposed to ask about her menstrual history. Important. Okay.
Okay.
If she's got DUB because she's perimenopausal, that can also be the cause of pallor, not only hemoptysis. Okay. Right.
Okay, ma'am.
Proceed.
Grade 2 clubbing was seen.
Yeah. So now you tell us what is clubbing, how it is produced, what are the degrees of clubbing. Shall we ask somebody else? Wait, I'll ask somebody else. Sweta, can you answer the definition of clubbing, the grades of clubbing? Sweta, is she connected already?
She's present, I think, ma'am.
Present, but not
She's
responding.
present, ma'am.
Present. Okay, Vinod
Yes,
Kumar, you tell me. Vinod, you tell me
Yes, ma'am.
about
Good morning,
clubbing.
ma'am.
Yeah, Vinod.
Ma'am, clubbing can be defined as the selective bulbous enlargement of the distal phalanxes of the digits, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. What are
It
the
occurs
grades?
due to
Tell me the
grading. Ma'am, which one should I tell, ma'am? Grading or the
grade.
etiology?
You tell the pathogenesis,
Okay, ma'am.
how it is produced.
Ma'am, the pathogenesis is due to the release of platelet-derived growth factors from the megakaryocytes, which get deposited there, and
Yes.
they induce the fibroblast proliferation, ma'am,
Okay.
and soft tissue enlargement occurs.
Okay. Fine. What are the grades?
Ma'am, grading in grade 1, there'll be obliteration of the angle of the nail bit, ma'am. And in grade 2, the fluctuation test will be positive. In grade 3, it will be a parrot beak or drumstick in appearance, and in grade 4, it's known as hypertrophic pulmonary osteoarthropathy, ma'am.
See, F for F, you remember. Fluctuation, grade 1, first degree. You know what is fluctuation?
Okay.
What is fluctuation? See, you have
Um,
to, I need one more person to demonstrate. See, just you, from the base of the nail, no, with two of your fingers, maybe you can use your index or finger of both the hands, and you try to push the nail which you see, no, beneath the lunula, the base. Okay, if you push, you will feel the other side. That is, see the fluctuation which you do in surgery, right? Like that. Okay, this is grade 1. Grade 2 is angle obliteration. What is Shamroth sign?
Shamroth sign is when the digits are kept together, there will be a diamond-shaped window seen in between the nail and the upper part
You
of
can
the
keep this
finger.
way, both the thumbs or both the fingers. Okay, so you see a diamond shape normally, which is obliterated. Okay, so the lobibond angle, which is normally 160 degrees, is altered because of the enlargement, bulbous enlargement. Okay.
Yes.
So what do you mean by HPOA?
Ma'am?
HPOA.
Ma'am, hypertrophic pulmonary osteoarthropathy is when
It's otherwise known
pain,
as Pierre-Mary Bomberger syndrome. See this HPOA, which occurs in grade 4. Okay, this is known as Pierre-Mary Bomberger syndrome. How will you confirm it is HPOA? See, it's a triad. Okay, see, actually, if you take an X-ray, there will be subperiosteal newborn formation. Okay, and clubbing, and there will be synovial thickening. So all these three will be there to call it as HPOA. And not only that, how will you check? Where will you check? See the distal end of
mostly at the wrist.
growing bones. Yeah. So you give pressure here. So there is severe tenderness, HPOA. So where all you look for HPOA diseases? Where you see HPOA? Yes?
I mean bronchogenic carcinoma, ma'am.
In bronchogenic carcinoma, yes?
Cystic fibrosis.
Yes?
AV malformations.
Yeah.
Neurofibroma.
Yeah. Okay, proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes, Sayed. Next.
generalized lymphadenopathy, pedal edema was
Yeah, grade 2 lymphadenopathy. See, actually, in bronchiectasis, see, you expect an advanced clubbing like grade 3, parrot beak or drumstick. See, nowadays, the trend has changed. Nowadays, the cases, the number of cases which we see also is less, maybe because of the early detection and early antibiotics. Okay. See, the florid case should have cross clubbing, pan digital clubbing. They should have cyanosis, polycythemia, okay, with typical bronchiectatic changes, which we will discuss. Okay, proceed. Proceed.
Yes, ma'am. So there's no interest or cyanosis or generalized lymphadenopathy or pedal edema found. There was no external signs of tuberculosis or human immunodeficiency virus
Okay,
or Horner syndrome
right.
seen, ma'am.
Yes.
Vitals, the pulse was 95 per minute, regular in rhythm, normal in volume and character, no radial or radiofemoral delay, vessel wall was normal, all peripheral pulses were equally felt.
See,
Blood pressure,
in an RS case, okay,
yes,
I
ma'am.
am feeling both radial pulses and there is radial delay. What are the possibilities? Radial delay.
Ma'am, it could be coarctation of aorta.
No. Coarctation, other than that. See, according to you, coarctation means radiofemoral delay. Okay? So you
Yes.
need to say where is the coarctation if it is going to be radial. Site of coarctation.
Cervical rib.
Arch of aorta, ma'am.
Yeah, I expected this cervical rib. Cervical rib as well as thoracic outlet syndromes. Okay. What is Adson's test? Adson's test which you do for cervical rib.
Ma'am, when we lift our arms, there is relieving of tensions. I
What
don't
you will
remember.
ask the patient to do and what will you look for?
Ma'am, to look for
No
thoracic
idea,
outlet
forgot.
obstruction, ma'am.
How will you check? How will you
Ma'am,
check?
when the patient lifts his arms, there will be flushing or congestion of the face, ma'am.
No. That is different. That is SVC syndrome or retrosternal goiter, Pemberton's sign.
Radial
Pemberton's
pulse.
sign is different. Yeah, tell me.
There will be decreased radial pulse if it's in thoracic outlet syndrome.
Yeah, when he turns his head to the opposite side. Okay, so you all go read about Adson's test. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, proceed.
Blood pressure was 110. Systolic blood pressure was 110 and diastolic blood pressure was 80 mmHg in left upper limb in sitting posture.
Okay.
Respiratory rate was 26 per minute, thoracoabdominal type and regular in rhythm. Temperature was 98.2 Fahrenheit. JVP was not elevated.
So obviously the patient is dyspneic. So the rate is 26 per minute, thoracoabdominal. Okay. Not only that, you are keen in looking at JVP for what?
And
You
for
must
cor
see JVP.
pulmonale.
Yes, cor pulmonale. So definitely you look for right heart failure features. Yes, next.
Systemic examination. Examination of respiratory system. Upper respiratory tract examination, we will see counter of the nose was normal, no nasal septal deviation, no nasal polyp or no sinus tenderness was seen.
Fine. Okay.
Examination of oral cavity, no staining of teeth or dental caries were found.
Okay.
Halitosis was present for past 3 years. No tonsillar enlargement, no
But
postnasal drip.
you
Yes,
should
ma'am.
say halitosis present plus. Don't say for the past 3 years and all. Now you are examining the patient. You have come to examination, not history. Right?
Okay, ma'am.
What staining? What staining of teeth? You're telling
Uh,
tobacco?
Tobacco staining, ma'am. Nicotine staining.
Yes, nicotine. Yeah, in smokers you can see the staining in the oral cavity, the mucosa, the teeth, as well as the fingers. In chain smokers, no, the nails. So they'll be stained. Okay, right.
Yes.
Halitosis. So the smell in medicine. Okay. See, if
Yes.
it is bad breath, we think of only suppurative lung disease. Okay. If it is
Okay.
going to be a fruity odor, you go near
Yes.
the patient as a physician and you pick up a fruity odor from the patient. What disease you will suspect?
It could be diabetic ketoacidosis, ma'am, or it could be
DKA. Yeah, DKA. And if it is going to be a fishy odor, if you go near the patient's fishy odor,
it could be hyperamo.
yeah, uremia, in renal failure, uremia. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
If it is mousy odor, mousy odor.
Ma'am, oh, tyrosine kinase, tyrosinemia, ma'am.
In DCLD, what you will have? Because of the mercaptans, okay, you can have mousy odor, okay, right. Where you will have
Okay, ma'am.
kerosene-like smell, kerosene odor. Some poisoning,
Um,
some
organophosphate poisoning, ma'am.
yes, OPC poisoning, yes. Proceed.
Um, Ma'am, there was no tonsillar enlargement, no
Okay,
postnasal drip,
okay,
hard palate, soft palate, posterior pharyngeal wall was normal. There was no oral thrush.
yes,
Examination of lower respiratory tract
yes,
lower respiratory tract inspection. Trachea appears to be in midline.
okay.
Apical impulse was seen in left costal
It's
space.
normal according to you?
Half an inch
Normally
medial.
placed, yes.
Ma'am?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yes,
normal.
ma'am.
Apical impulse is normal,
Uh,
yes.
yes, ma'am. Chest wall appears to be symmetrical,
Yeah,
does not move equally with respiration.
yeah.
Respiratory movement was decreased on the right side.
Okay.
No chest in drawing, no crowding of rib, no scars, no
Yes,
sinuses.
yes. Yes, yes, Sayed. Hello. Yes.
Uh, uh,
Ah,
vein with pulsation.
fine. Next.
No direct venous services. Uh, no supra or
Okay.
infraclavicular hollowing
Okay.
was seen. No intercostal fullness. No prominence of accessory muscles of respiration.
Yes. What are the accessory
No
muscles you
pain
know?
of shoulder. Ma'am, scaleni muscles, sternocleidomastoid, trapezius. Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible?
You are audible.
Okay. Hello, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
No, nothing. All of a sudden it stopped. Shall we continue? We'll finish off in 10-15 minutes. Okay? Others are there online now? Yeah, fine. அது எப்படி போச்சு? Then all of a sudden it not there.
டைமிங் ஏதாவது வச்சுருப்பாங்க.
அப்படி இருக்குமா? Okay.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Am I audible? Sayed?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're audible, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Proceed. It got cut automatically. I didn't leave the meeting.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Proceed.
There's network issues, ma'am. Ma'am, no drooping of shoulder or intercostal indrawing was seen, ma'am.
Okay.
No abnormal pulsations, dilated veins, scars, or
Okay.
sinuses were found. No kyphosis or scoliosis.
Okay.
Palpation.
Fine. Next, palpation.
Tracheal position is confirmed to be in midline.
Okay.
No paranasal sinus tenderness was palpated, and apical beat was felt.
No,
at
no.
left.
You don't bring in paranasal tenderness here. Okay, you stop with upper airway examination. Not here.
Okay.
You
Okay,
may have to
ma'am.
delete. Okay. Now you talk about apex. Its position is confirmed. It's normal. In fifth intercostal
Yes.
phase, upper and median midclavicle line. Right. Chest expansion, you said it is reduced. You expect
ma'am.
minimum 5 centimeters. Hemithorax wise, it is right more than left. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And totally it is 4 centimeters. Right. Proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Lactile fremitus. A bit
Increase
fast.
in.
Sayed, you
Yes,
should
ma'am.
be a bit fast. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Increased in mammary, infraaxillary, and infrascapular areas of right lung
Yeah.
had
Okay.
increased tactile parameters.
Yes.
It was normal in supraclavicular, infraclavicular, axillary, suprascapular, interscapular area of right lung.
Yes. So I'd like to stress on one point. Here,
Yes, ma'am.
there's a difference between tactile premitus and ocal premitus, right? See,
Yes,
in
ma'am.
tactile premitus, without patient telling anything, just you palpate the chest with your palm, okay? And you pick
Yes.
up the adventitious sound. Here, because
Yes.
of the secretions, you can even pick up the pose crackles. That's what you mean, okay? In the
Yes.
mammary, infraaxillary, and infrascapular areas of the right lung. Whereas vocal premitus is you ask the patient to say 111 and you compare, right?
Yes,
Vocal
ma'am.
premitus will be increased in consolidation, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
And in
Yes.
cavity, superficial cavity also. Yeah, proceed next.
No intercostal tenderness in right and left
Yeah.
lung areas, ma'am.
Fine. You must look for it because in bronchiectasis they can go in for one of the complications is lung abscess. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And empyema also is one of the complications. Yeah, proceed. Percussion.
Percussion in the right side, mammary, infraaxillary, and infrascapular regions had impaired note, whereas
Yeah.
clavicular, supraclavicular, infraclavicular,
All other
axillary,
areas it
all
is resonant.
resonant.
My
Yes,
question
ma'am.
is, can you percuss this patient who gives history of hemoptysis for the past 2 days? Is she bleeding now? If
Yes,
you
ma'am. She is
percuss,
emergency.
you will aggravate hemoptysis. So you should be a cautious doctor, okay? So
Okay, ma'am.
if there is a fresh bleed, you are not supposed to do percussion. Similarly, chest physiotherapy should not be given by cupped percussion. They adopt one technique called cupped percussion. With that, they give vibration to loosen the secretion. Okay, so never do that also when there is active bleed. Okay, right. Proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Proceed.
Uh, Drop space is percussed and tympanic note is heard.
Fine.
Auscultation, breath sounds. On the right side, tubular bronchial breath sounds were heard in mammary, infraaxillary, and infrascapular areas. Normal vesicular breath sounds with no added sounds in the rest of the lung areas.
Okay.
Coarse, leathery crepitations heard in the mid-inspiratory phase on the right side.
Fine. Okay. Okay.
Left side, normal vesicular breath sounds in all areas with no added sounds.
Yes. We'll go one by one, okay? You said on
Okay, ma'am.
auscultation, right side means what? See, you're supposed to tell us the area where you're auscultating. You mean to say mammary, infraaxillary, and infrascapular, right side?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, if it is going to be tubular, what do you infer? What do
Ma'am,
you infer? Tubular breath sound, what did I tell you yesterday?
ma'am,
It means there
you
is
said it was
consolidation.
consolidated. Yes,
There
ma'am.
may be patchy consolidation, okay? Super
Yes.
infection, there may be patchy consolidation possible. And coarse leathery crackles or pathognomonic of bronchiectasis. Just by keeping the diaphragm of the step, you pick up the diagnosis. Coarse leathery crackles, okay, which are mid-inspiratory. Fine. So
Yes,
the
ma'am.
left lung is normal according to you, okay?
Yes,
See,
ma'am.
normally, which is the lobe which is commonly affected in bronchiectasis? It is only the left lower lobe.
Yes, ma'am.
Why? Because it has got a long course as well as the angulation is acute. So it is prone, the lower lobe is prone for, left lower lobe is prone. Here in our case, it is the right. Okay. In
Okay.
right, actually aspiration is common in the upper lobe. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Aspiration is common because the right main bronchus is short and straight, almost in line. Okay. So
Yes.
easily the aspiration can occur. Right. Proceed. Vocal resonance.
Yes, ma'am. So vocal resonance on the side of the right lung increased in mammary, infraaxillary, and infrascapular
Okay.
area.
Okay. Okay.
Normal in rest of the lung areas, in the right lung
Fine.
area.
Okay.
Left lung areas,
Normal.
Yes, ma'am.
Next.
Examination of other systems.
Yeah.
Cardiovascular system S1, S2 heard with no
Okay. Yes.
abdomen, non-tender, no
See, what
organomegaly,
did I tell
normal
you?
bowel
You can
sounds heard.
say S1, S2 heard, and you should say P2 is normal. There is, see, indirectly you say the
Okay,
patient
ma'am.
is not in
P2.
pulmonary hypertension. Right. Proceed.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry. CNS, central nervous system, no focal neurological deficit was seen.
Yeah. Fine.
And diagnosis, right-sided lower lobe bronchiectasis.
Yes. So that will be
I
your
didn't know how to.
diagnosis. Ah.
Is it presented like this, ma'am, or there should be some etiology mentioned, or
Etiology you may not know, no? You may not know. You
yes,
have to find out. Because the whole history is for the past 3 years. There is no childhood history at all, no past history. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
So you can stop with this, but the investigation only will tell. See, clinically you're sure it is bronchiectasis. See,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
start from the history, okay? It's a chronic history of respiratory symptoms like cough, productive cough, okay, with foul smelling, with bronchoria. So all these are, again on examination you said there is grade 2 clubbing and there is restriction, you said right side a bit more than the left, the chest expansion. And
Yes,
you said you had patchy consolidation also. See, you have to tell the examiner if he asks why there is tubular breathing. I expect secondary infection, probably some patchy consolidation. That's why I pick up tubular breathing. And post leathery crackles will be the diagnostic finding for bronchiectasis. Yeah, proceed.
okay,
How will
ma'am.
you confirm? Clinically, you're
Uh,
sure it is bronchiectasis. Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
ma'am. So investigation, general investigation,
Yeah.
complete blood count,
So you do
total.
CBC, total count, yeah. So if there is superadded infection, total count raises. Okay. ESR also may raise, CRP may raise. All these are acute phase reactants, non-specific. So which can raise. Okay. So definitely she is a
Uh,
diabetic. You will do a not random. You will do a fasting blood sugar, postprandial blood sugar as well as A1C. And you look for urine
yes,
sugar,
ma'am.
albumin, LFT, RP. Fine. All these are general.
Yes.
And coming to
Okay.
specific, okay, what all you want to do? Chest X-ray.
Uh,
Okay, chest
yes,
X-ray
ma'am.
will show what? You can see gray plate
Patchy
clusters,
consolidation.
the cystic shadows you can see. Okay, you can see even
Okay.
tram track shadows. If you take HRCT, you will, which is nothing but high resolution CT. There you see even signet sign. Signet sign is nothing, it's signet ring appearance. See, there is a ring with a stone, you imagine, okay, at the edge. See, this is the dilated bronchiole. This is the artery, bronchial artery, which is hypertrophied. Okay, that is called
Okay,
a
ma'am.
signet ring sign in HRCT. See, there is one closed DD, bronchiectasis. There is one central bronchiectasis which you see in ABPA, allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis. Have you heard of this? ABPA?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Type 3
Yes,
hypersensitivity.
ABPA. Yes, so that will give central bronchiectasis you will have. And also because of the secretion, it gives what is known as gloved finger appearance. All that you will read if you are really interested. Okay, then the sputum. Sputum, you want to rule out first bacterial infection, so you do a gram stain, okay, as well as bacterial culture. Obviously, definitely you will rule out even tuberculosis because she is a diabetic, it can be atypical. Yesterday we said all diabetics who are immunocompromised, it is always atypical. So you must rule out tuberculosis infection also by doing a Zeal-Nielsen technique as well as culture by BACTEC and CBNAT also you will do. Obviously, pulmonary function test will be done, which is to rule out obstruction. Obstruction, it confirms its obstructive pattern. Then COVID you will rule out. And what is the use of bronchoscopy?
Ma'am, bronchoscopy, since there is bleeding in this patient, we
Ah,
are going to check for the source of bleeding, ma'am.
very good, very good. See, if it is going to be a localized bleed, no, they do what is known as embolization, okay, of the vessels. If there are
Yes.
many, they do even embolization. If this lobe is particular, the localized infection, they can surgically remove the lobe also, lobectomy. They can do lobectomy also. For future planning also, you need bronchoscopy, not only for investigation. And you have missed very specific investigations like, see, we were talking about bronchiectasis, which involves so many syndromes, right, Syed? See,
Yes,
there are
ma'am.
so many syndromes, right?
Saccharin test, ma'am. Saccharin test.
Yeah, that you missed. Saccharin test as well as sweat chloride. They will assess sweat chloride as well as saccharin. So they keep the pellet, saccharin pellet will be kept on the nasal cavity and you note the time. So normally less than 20 minutes the patient will feel the taste of the pellet, the sugar pellet, saccharin, okay? So if it is delayed, obviously the ciliary motion is delayed, which confirms. Okay, so that also you mentioned, you didn't mention about that. And also in a male, you see this patient is a female, you should not forget if it's going to be a male, you are going to do a semen analysis for the sperm, no? Whether the sperm is motile or not. All that is very, very important test in a case of bronchiectasis. And you are supposed to know about several syndromes like William Campbell syndrome, where there is congenital tracheobronchomegaly. Similarly, Moynier-Kun syndrome, where there is bronchomalacia. Okay, softening of the cartilage part of it, bronchomalacia, like a laryngomalacia, right? This is bronchomalacia, and you know what is cartilaginous, and you have Young syndrome, Yellowknife syndrome, and Brock syndrome. Brock syndrome is nothing but bronchiectasis of the right middle lobe. Middle lobe is always on the right side. You've got 3 lobes on the right side, whereas 2 lobes on the left side. So it is Brock syndrome which affects the middle lobe. Middle lobe bronchiectasis. Okay. There is one more syndrome called Chandra-Ketapal syndrome. In Chandra-Ketapal syndrome, the heart is in the normal place. We call it as levocardia, but they will have other features like bronchiectasis and frontal sinusitis. Okay, so these are few syndromes. So what are the complications of bronchiectasis, Syed?
Ma'am, a bronchiectasis patient can go for cor pulmonale, one.
Very good. Yes.
Second thing is they can go for bronchopleural fistula. And if it is near the pleura, they can have pneumothorax.
Yes.
They can go on superadded infection like fungal, invasive fungal infection.
See, you can remember like this, Syed. See, there is bronchiectasis. Just now we said there may be a secondary infection like patchy consolidation. So that can get infected going in for lung abscess. So this lung abscess can get connected to the pleura causing empyema, causing bronchopleural fistula. If the cavity is near the pleura, obviously pneumothorax. And hemoptysis, you should not forget, they can have massive hemoptysis, which is one of the complications. It can be because of the mucosa which is inflamed. We know, no, it's friable mucosa, anytime it can bleed. Not only that, it is the hypertrophied arteries, no, the bronchial arteries, which can bleed, causing massive hemoptysis. That also you should not forget. As well as they are prone for long-standing untreated bronchiectasis. They can go in for what? Dash. Starts with A. Amyloidosis. They can go in for amyloidosis, long-standing untreated bronchiectasis. So you should know the complications of bronchiectasis. Yes. How are you going to manage this patient? Yes. What are the principles? Principles of management. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Now it's intermittent.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Hello? Hello? Audible? See, the management depends on... Hello,
yes,
am I audible? So the management is actually you are supposed to treat the infection. First you control the infection, right? See, from your investigation, you are going to find out which organism. Is it Pseudomonas, E. coli, Streptococcus pneumonia, or whatever it is, okay? You give appropriate antibiotic and treat the infection first. And the next will be the mucolytic. You have to drain the secretions which may be thick and viscid. Okay, you try even human recombinant DNAs have been tried to make the secretion thin and to bring out. Okay, and chest physiotherapy plays a main role in clearance of the secretion, and you have to appropriately treat the cause of it. Why did the bronchiectasis happen? Is it an extraneous compression by a node or a mass compressing the main bronchus? Okay. For example, in mitral stenosis, a long-standing untreated mitral stenosis, because of the large LA, it can compress upon the left main bronchus, causing bronchiectasis. So, if that pressure is removed, it is reversible. Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
next. Yeah, next.
Uh,
So here in
improve.
this patient, since, 1 minute. Since this
Yes, ma'am.
patient is bleeding, you are supposed to arrest the bleeding. You can try streptochrome. Okay. Hemostatics you can try. If it cannot be controlled, you can go in for straightaway surgery if it is a localized bleed or a very few vessels. So if generally even try embolizing the vessels. Okay. Right. And sugar control
Okay,
is
ma'am.
very, very important. So you are checking the blood sugar with insulin. With insulin, split dose of insulin, you will control the blood sugar also. Right. Next.
Ma'am, improved clearance of secretion by posture.
Yeah, posture, very important. See, for example, if it is right, your patient is right side, no? You make her lie down on the left lateral, and since there is bleed, I told you already, the chest physiotherapy is contraindicated, but the posture you can try to adopt, not the cupped percussion. If there is no bleed, you can try cupped percussion also. Similarly, you make the patient lie on a stomach, prone position, give a pillow on the abdomen, and by gravity, he will cough out and bring the sputum out with mucolytics also. So, mucolytics, not only human recombinant DNAs, which is rare to get, you can use bromhexine, and N-acetylcysteine. These are all mucolytics, so you can clear the secretion. Okay. Anything else?
Okay, ma'am. Antibiotic
Over?
therapy you told me.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's all?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall
Ma'am,
we
and
stop
one
with
doubt,
this?
ma'am.
Okay. We will stop with this
Uh,
here. Okay, you presented nicely, except for few corrections. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe
Ma'am, one
next
doubt.
week present. Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, if this patient had since TB is one of the most common for bronchiectasis, ma'am, in adult,
Yes.
how
Yes.
will I present a case if it was a TB, active case of TB, ma'am, and presenting bronchiectasis?
See, as usual, you can present. See, the bronchiectasis features will be the same. Etiology may be
Okay,
different. See, yesterday we
okay,
discussed,
ma'am.
no, it can even present in a non-diabetic as bronchiectasis sicca. So it affects the upper lobe. It presents only as hemoptysis, no sputum production. That's why it is called as sicca, I told you. Okay.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
see, the etiology only is going to differ. Your findings are going
Okay,
to be
ma'am.
the same. If you take any case of bronchiectasis, the findings will be the same. Like whatever history you have given, a chronic history, a productive bronchoria, productive cough with large amount of sputum, which is foul smelling. Okay,
Okay,
so
ma'am.
all this history you should stress. Similarly, if there is a past history of tuberculosis, you will add it. It can be even a reactivation, whether he was on regular treatment, was he a defaulter, all that you can bring in if he is going to
Okay,
be a
ma'am.
tubercular patient. Okay, being a
Ma'am, if he has,
diabetic,
oh yes, ma'am. If he
yeah.
had a cavitatory lesion in TB, so can he present like a bronchiectasis, ma'am? Can I present it like that, or it will be
See,
wrong, ma'am?
cavity is totally different. Cavity will be what we discussed yesterday. Cavity
Okay.
most of the time is upper lobe, okay?
Okay.
With what all we discussed. And diabetics, I told you, immunocompromised patients, the presentation may be atypical. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
cavitation may not be there, it can be fibrosis, but variable presentations can be there. Okay,
Yes,
here
ma'am.
also, why I want you to rule out TB also, because she is a diabetic and immunocompromised, it can be even an atypical presentation, but still, you should rule out bacterial as well as tuberculosis particularly. Now other bacteria, the common bacteria will be, as I told you, Pseudomonas, E. coli, Streptococcus pneumoniae, okay. Staph pneumonia is common with children, no? Staph pneumonia, very dangerous. See, within hours, okay, it develops what are called as nematocele, air pockets. So these nematocele will widen or become big. All of a sudden it bursts, causing pneumothorax, and child will collapse. So that is the dreaded complication of staph pneumonia. You should keep in mind, okay?
Okay,
Staph
ma'am.
pneumonia, which we commonly seen in, it will be seen in children. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So there are non-infectious causes also, like inhaling gases like ammonia and aspiration we discussed, no? Similarly, ABP
Yes.
is a non-infectious cause of bronchiectasis. Okay. Right. Shall
Okay,
we
ma'am.
stop with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, pa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oof. Everyone can leave. Bye.